Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Finance with Anthony. Today, we're going to be diving into more personal finance questions right here on Reddit. So, let's dive right into a few questions. So, the first question is, should I pay off my car or keep that money in savings? As the title says, I'm debating on whether to pay off my car or to keep that money in my savings account. For a little perspective, I have roughly $18,000 in savings with a current interest rate of 4.5%. I owe roughly $8,500 on my car, and the interest rate on it is only 1.99%. Pre-COVID rates, woohoo! I have no other standing debt beyond the car payments and would really like to not owe anything to anyone. I know a general rule of finance is to keep the money in higher percentage interest accounts and pay the minimum on lower percentage interest debts, as it's harder to earn the money than you would spend on lower interest debts. If you knock out a chunk and the interest doesn't amount to much. Any advice is appreciated, and it's not something I have to do today, just looking to see what you all think. So this is a very interesting question. I would personally say that, it's a blessing to have such a low interest rate, especially in this economy. So I would say, pivot away from, of course, make sure you're making your monthly payments, your monthly minimums, of course, but really start to think about, besides that one objective you're trying to achieve, which is to pay off your car, think about what else you want to achieve in your life. So other aspects of things that you probably would want to do is, let's say, maybe create an emergency savings account. That's important to always do that. The next thing is like, hey, do you want to do any investments? So investments are a key thing to growing your long-term wealth. So maybe you want to invest in like cryptocurrency, maybe in stocks or bonds, or if you're someone who enjoys investing in real estate, then you might want to start developing maybe a down payment towards a house. There's a lot of variety you can do with the extra money that you have, so it's important to not kind of have tunnel vision and just think about your one objective, especially when your interest rate is so low. And the other aspect of it is like, you never know. Times are tough, you might lose your job. So it's important more than anything to really set your priorities straight and diversify, where your money streams are coming from. Alrighty, so moving on to the next question. Stay in current job for experience or switch to higher paying role? Hey everyone, I recently graduated with a bachelor's degree and started working at an accounting firm with a salary of $47,000. It's been 6 months and I'm considering either staying for another 6 months to build my resume or switching to a higher paying job. Questions. Should I stay for around 6 months to gain experience and avoid looking like a job hopper? Or should I start looking for a higher paying job now? Any recommendations for accounting firms around Queens, Manhattan? I'm in Queens and no drive, so that's the farthest I can go. Is it feasible to pursue a master's in accounting while working full-time? Thanks for the advice. So, I would say, someone who's been in the accounting industry for a while, when you're starting off your career very early, it's important to really, hunker down for a little bit. Because especially when you're new to the industry, I would recommend staying 1 to 2 years in your current position, really learning what a staff accountant in most cases is in those early years, and really gaining an understanding of how well you do things, how well you pick up things, and really get a grasp of what accounting is all about, because that's what the first 2 years will be in every career. And job hopping too early may actually diminish this for you, where if you only stay for 6 months, you may not really have learned much about that industry or really of how things work in a company. It's important to really assess your qualifications first and really establish yourself with a good amount of experience. Now, in terms of your second question, in terms of if you should get a master's degree, I think it's all dependent on what your career aspirations are. Do you really want to maybe go into maybe like a CPA route? If you want to become a CPA, maybe going down maybe a 1 year or 2 year master would actually help you accelerate that and get you the necessary credits for you to sit for the exam and qualify to get your CPA license. I think these are the kinds of questions that you want to ask yourself. And besides that, can you afford it? If you can afford a master's degree, or if your job pays for a master's degree, then I think it's important to really take advantage of that and really, set yourself apart from people. Because besides having a master's, having a CPA does distinguish yourself from many accountants that are out there currently in the work environment. Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and I'm the host of TheLostSanctuary. I hope you've been enjoying our content so far, and if you have, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also, we have our website up here, and we also have some socials down here. And as always, leave your comments down below. Alright, so moving on to the next question. I'm living paycheck to paycheck and really am struggling with it. I'm a 27M who has found himself living paycheck to paycheck ever since I lost my last job. I was a server in Ontario and making pretty good money, enough to where I regularly only work 35 hours a week and be very comfortable with money left to save at the end of the month. Well, due to unforeseen circumstances, I no longer have that position. I found a new job at a casino where I get 32 to 48 hours a week at $25 an hour, but it really has been a massive adjustment. My take home ranges from 2,600 to 2,870 depending if I get the 32 or 40-hour weeks. My expenses are rent, $1,000, car payment, $60, car insurance, $205, motorcycle insurance, $145, phone, $90, internet, $70, Spotify, $15, and gym, $30. Around $2,115 immediately out of my account. I know I shouldn't have a car payment, but when your car dies unexpectedly and you're in a bit of in a bind with no cash, it was the only way to have a vehicle. So basically, at the end of each month, I'm left with $500 to $700 of spending money. But groceries are around $130 a week, factoring gas, some dog food, and I'm bled dry before the month is even over. I don't know what I should do. Finding a job in this market is tough, and I don't mind my position, but what's the point working a 40-hour week when you know at the end of it all, you'll be in the exact same place you started? Sorry for the long rant, but at this point, I'm at a loss. It's been rough, and a lot of people have taken sometimes 2 to 3 positions just to survive, so, definitely think about your long-term strategy. Think about, hey, working, maybe 2 jobs now or working overtime in your current job, maybe it may not be ideal, but it is something you can do. And then think about what your future prospects are. Like, maybe do you want to pursue a trade potentially where you can earn a lot more income? Because what's important in the long run is to earn enough income so you're not in this situation in the first place. And then once you are in a much better place, then you could think about, I have my basic needs covered. Now I can start investing. I can start putting away for things. So what's most important right now is to try to raise your income as much as possible with any means necessary. Feeling trapped, wondering if I should sell my house and rent and invest the equity I have. I'm 28. My house mortgage is at 2.9%. Loan amount is $160K, worth about $250 to $280K now after living here for about 4 years. I feel trapped with my interest rate. I don't want to live here forever. The idea of owning a home is less desirable to me as of lately, but I don't know if that will change again. I've been thinking of selling and renting a house and use the roughly $100K in equity to put in VTSAX. My main goal is to be able to retire early, and this can put me closer to my goal. I'm worried I'll regret dumping my ridiculously good interest rate. I also think if I own my house outright, it will be easier for me to retire early, and I have to worry about mortgage / rent. My property taxes are high for my area at about 6.2K a year as well. Either way, I don't plan on living here until I die, but house prices and rates are so high, and I don't think they'll ever get better, at least not anytime soon. I've been feeling trapped at this house these last few months, and I can't get rid of that feeling. I make about $80K a year and have $62K in my 401K. I feel like I'm behind to even think about retiring early. Looking for perspective, as no one else my age that I know is in a similar situation financially. I know the cons of renting a house as well as we used to rent when I was younger. I used to like remodeling my houses. This is my second house I've owned, but feeling depressed and no longer enjoy fixing my house anymore. I don't know if that will pass, but I do plan to prioritize traveling more as I have put that off, and I'm regretting not seeing the world. Thoughts, opinion, need more info. Thanks for reading my rambles. So, I would say you're very fortunate overall because, that kind of interest rate, we don't know if we'll see that again in our lifetimes, but maybe we will. But I think overall, what's the issue is not that you're tired of the house, but maybe you're just tired of the routine. And that happens commonly, whether you're in a job or in a certain neighborhood. Maybe you're just tired of the day-to-day grind and just doing the same thing over and over again. So what I would say, and this is just my honest opinion, I think you're in a very great position. You at one point will have this house paid off, and you could think about maybe, as you mentioned, maybe accelerating, paying off the house early. And at one point, maybe if you do manage to pay off the house early, maybe you should think about having something called a property management company. A property management company will then be able to maybe rent your house as you decide to potentially move out to another neighborhood. So essentially, the property management company will manage the house for you. They'll collect your rent. They'll get you the tenant. They'll do most of even the maintenance if that's not something you want to do yourself. They'll find the handyman. They'll fix everything up. So essentially, that is an avenue you can take where you can keep this house as a tool for your investments as well as for your retirement. It could become something that you can continue to utilize for rental income and eventually use it to even pay your other house. So definitely this home that you're thinking about potentially selling, think long and hard about, this opportunity that you already have. Not many people have this opportunity, especially in the time you bought the house, which is 4 years ago. Housing prices are nowhere near what they were 4 years ago. So you really consider that, the economy is trending in a way where anything can essentially boost up the prices of a home in an instance. And, you may even not be able to even buy the same kind of house you have right now for nowhere near the price you probably bought it at. So really think long and hard before like selling off the house, and maybe start thinking about your future plans of either buying another place at another area and then maybe using that same house that you have right here, as a rental. I think that would be your most ideal, solution to keep your current house, have more tools for your future, and hopefully retire early. Alrighty, so that's going to be all for Finance with Anthony, episode 2. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and adios. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and I'm wishing everyone out there all the best. All right, until next time, adios.